Big whip and miss by Smith.
And there are a lot of programs out there where success is a double-edged sword, because as soon as you have a coaching staff that recruits well, has some good teams, wins some games, all of a sudden
Sorry about that. Told you, YouTube has changed on me. I haven't been on here in about 2 months. For the ones out there, to the dedicated 1,279 fans that I am hoping to grow on this year, I just want to say to you guys, I appreciate you all for hanging in there with me and stuff like that. Hold on, guys.
And if a couple of guys get on, you get to reach Stallman, who's hit 2 homers today, and there hasn't been anything cheap about either one of them.
But guys, it's been a long time. It's been a very long time. Wow, man, like where do I start? Golly, man, I haven't, and I came on here today because I said, you know what? I'm not going to wait any longer, man. I am not going to wait any longer. Shout out to all of you guys, and yes, man, look, the fam is good. Thank you guys for checking in and stuff like that, man. But I said, man, I said to myself, man, I'm not going to wait any longer, man. You know, forget it. Guys, you know, like, let's go ahead and do it. Because what I was wanting to do is come back onto the show, right? Just give you a little bit of detail, sum it all up here, right? Not going to get into it and drag it out for 30 minutes. But what I'm planning on doing is just, you know, having a whole like reconstruction of everything. Not reconstruction, you know, not reconstruction in my garage, right? Excuse me for saying that twice. But, you know, just want to add a little bit more things and stuff like that, man. And that's the reason why I hadn't been back on here. I have been I have been degressing ever since football season has been going. I'm still watching all other sports, right? Of course, Aggie baseball, in which I totally love, by the way, and in love with. Shout out to everybody that's now starting to get into the baseball program. It's unfortunate that they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. But shout out to all of you guys for just, you know, tuning in, man, and just being there and being what the Aggie brand is all about, being what that Aggie family is all about. Man, we're going to show up, we're going to support, we're going to do everything, right? So, you know, just shout out to you guys for that, man. I believe Drew, his name is Drew at Texas A&M. He also has a YouTube. His YouTube is grown, by the way. Shout out to you, young man. But that YouTube is grown, man. Trust me. I look and I pay attention to guys, you know, that may have started out a little bit slow, you know, and then it has grown, you know. And like I say, shout out to him. His YouTube is bigger than mine, man. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But shout out to you, man. I like the content. You're now starting to get into baseball also. I love that. I love that, man. But guys, right now, I'm going to be real with you, right? And we're going to start with Aggie baseball. Now, you know what? I'm not going to start with Aggie baseball because I will leave that as the last one. Okay? I will honestly leave that as the last one. Let's start with the women's basketball team. What is going on? You know, they're on their 10th game losing streak, if I'm not mistaken right now. That is absolutely unbelievable to me. But, you know, man, it is what it is. But it's just certain things that they have to fix, and it's certain things that Joni Taylor has to turn around. Uh, I've watched those girls every week. Okay. And this is a dedication to me and my wife, man, because me and my wife has watched these girls every week. And I will honestly say this: they just don't look good. Okay. Um, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to bash them or anything like that, man, because they have my full support. But that basketball team is bad. It's very bad. I'm hoping they get things turned around, right? But they're on a 10th game losing streak. I cannot remember the last time it was a 10th game losing streak. And if it was one, I'm just going to assume it was Gary Blair's last year. Or it might have been Joni Taylor's first year, in which she went 9-20. 9-20. The team they just lost to was Arkansas, that is now 10-21. You know, so excuse me, hold on. So I hate that, but she's on a 10-game losing streak, man, and now she is 10-18, if I'm not mistaken. That record is now 10-18. She's in her third season. I understand she has had a lot of injuries. But even on last year, you know, I think she had an injury or two there as well until some players started to come back late in the season, and then they made that late season push and got into the NCAA tournament. This year, you aren't getting anywhere close to that. You know, and I think we all know that by now. You know, and I think she knows that as well, right? I think Joni, right? I do think Joni is a good coach. That I won't take away from her. She was a USA basketball coach, which was previous. And, you know, she won a gold medal with them. I'm not understanding what with this team. Don't get me wrong. They nowhere near a stretch of imagination, a USA team. Not even much qualifying USA team at that, right? But it has to be somewhere where she has to bring that to the team. That has to be the mentality. You know, that has to be the mentality. If I'm looking at it correctly, Oklahoma State just beat Mississippi State in the Astros Classic. So I'm here to tell you this, man. I don't know if Oklahoma State is just that damn good, or A&M and Mississippi State is just that bad right now. I don't know. It's got to be one of the two. You know, and I'll get to A&M baseball a little bit later here in the podcast, right? But, you know, I don't know, man. It's a couple of things that just needs reshuffling in the deck with Joni Taylor, in my opinion. Hopefully she can get that turned around. Just like I put this out there on Twitter X, but I did say, man, I'll be the first to tell you that I don't think she's coming back next year, but then again, I could be totally wrong because she did go to the tournament on last year. So that may just be a very good reason to bring her on back. You know, but of course, man, we will find out. Yo, been a minute, noble guy. Yes, it's been a long time, man, very long time. And shout out to you, by the way, noble guy. But, you know, like I said, man, I'll be the first to tell you that I don't think she's coming back next year. But like I said, I could be totally wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I don't call for nobody's job title. But I just don't think that it's working. I do not think it's working at all at this point. But we will see. We will see. I do not think she has the players to win in the SEC right now. Maybe next year that looks totally different. But that's one of those, like I said before, we will see. Okay? I'm not going to stay on that topic for too long. For the ones that do follow me and the ones that are in the Facebook groups that I'm in, you guys know how I feel. Okay? But like I said, I could be totally wrong, and it is what it is, man. So we're moving on to the next, right? Track and field. God damn it. Shout out to track and field for getting their first ever SEC championship. Let me be specific. For getting their first ever indoor track and field SEC championship. That is monumental for this program and where they're at so far as the track and field is concerned. And I'm talking about the men's track and field. I have not seen the men's track and field win indoor nor outdoor ever since I've been watching, right? And we just talking about SEC wise. I did not watch them in the Big 12, being totally honest here. But I have watched them in the SEC, and the girls have always been the ones that's been on top of the guys. And quite honest, I don't really worry about the girls because I know the girls will be okay, right? But that's just me. The men are the guys that has came and made a huge impact, man. I love that. Trust me, guys, I've been watching. I have not watched all the track meets. I'll be lying to you if I told you that. But I keep up with just about everything that's Aggie related. Hell, I keep up with tennis. And if I'm not mistaken, the Aggies women's tennis team, they're undefeated in SEC play again. Again, that coach, he needs a raise if he didn't already get one. But that guy, he's very serious about what he's doing, and he doesn't like to lose, right? Especially inside of the conference. So keep that going, right? But shout out to track and field, man. I love that. This is the direction that we need to continuously keep going in, okay? It's nothing but a bright future up ahead. And now we're looking to win a national championship with that Aggie men's track and field, and also with the women's track and field, man. We're looking to win a national title. You know, this is what it's all about. If we're going to say we want to win national titles, it has to start somewhere. And it starts with the SEC. This is by far one of the hardest conferences, okay? So, hey, man, we got to man up, we got to woman up, and we got to go out there and we got to go do it. So shout out to track and field for doing that, okay? The Aggie softball team. Damn, those girls are good. As of right now, that record is 20-2. I'm going to say that again. That record is now 20-2. That lady, right, the Aggies women's softball coach, she is damn good, man. She is so good. I don't know why I can't think of her name. I hate when I do that. But she is very, very good, man. She's been good ever since she's been hired. Truthfully speaking, I'm being totally honest here. She's been good ever since she's been hired. Yes, I know we had to meet up with Texas on last year, but guess what? She almost beat Texas. She took it to Texas all 3 games, okay? And just recently now, she's just beaten Texas Tech, which is the 4th ranked win. Trisha Ford, thank you, which is the 4th ranked win of this season. That's her 4th ranked win of this season. Trisha Ford is that damn good. I believe she just fits. She fits that A&M mold when it comes to this is what we want, and this is what we mean when we say we want winning coaches. Right? She sits up top, she's there. The guy that sits up top, and he's no longer here anymore, was Jim Slauson, right? And he took us to the national championship on last year. I had to mention his name, but he took us to the national title last year. I believe that guy sparked every athletic department that was at A&M when those guys went to the national title game. That was electric. Like I said, he's no longer here. It is what it is. That's in the past. But I believe he sparked something, and that's the monster. That's what we mean by when that monster actually gets awakened, people are going to be mad at Texas A&M going forward. Because A&M could absolutely go on the road of winning championships in almost every sport. Okay? I'm going to say this here. The Aggie softball team looks like a national championship bound type team. They look like, I cannot think of what you call it when they look like they're in mid-season form already. Now, of course, we'll open up SEC play, I think, on next week, if I'm not mistaken, or the week after. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's next week when we open up SEC play. I'm not sure who the first opponent is, but I do believe we open up SEC play on next week. But they look like they're in midseason form already. They look like they can compete with the Oklahomas of the world. They can compete with the Floridas of the world. They can compete with the LSUs of the world, right? With the Texas of the world. It is what it is, right? They lost to Texas Tech on yesterday, came back out today, got their revenge. Was up 7-2 at one point, but then Texas Tech started to rally back. So they ended up finishing the game 7-6. Trisha Ford has some real hitters on that team. Now pitching, right? Pitching may not be all the way down packed, excluding Emily Kennedy. But for the most part, I believe she has the team to super exceed the pitching mistakes at times. And that's what I love about it. I love what I see from that team because they work as a team. I love that. And that's what you need in sports. You need your team to play as a team. And that's what we're watching in softball, man. They look like the baseball team of last year. I'm sorry. And I know what I'm talking about on that one. They literally look like the baseball team of last year. We will see come conference play, right? We will see. But quote me when I say that A&M will most likely be a top 5 seed when it comes to tournament projections and tournament placements with the softball team, man. That's how much I believe in them, and that's how good they actually are. And anybody who's doubting that, I'm here to tell you, man, you're gonna be very mad when they show up on you, and they're absolutely right. And you know, it's one of those, man. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Okay, so we keep on going here. Like I say, guys, I'm not going to keep you for long because I do have to go to the store. I'm mind-boggling my mind on what I'm going to cook, and it's extremely late, which is crazy. But you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we keep on going here. Aggie's men basketball, right? Oh, and with the softball team, by the way, the softball team is ranked number 5. With that ranked win on yesterday, they'll probably stay at 5, maybe move down to 6 because they did lose on yesterday. But they're not going out of the top 10. I'm telling you guys that now. I know I mentioned this before, but the record now is 20-2. Let that sink in. That softball team is now 20-2. I don't know the last time you guys heard the softball team being 20-2, but I'm telling you that they're 20-2. Okay, so if you haven't watched, if you have cable, right, all you got to do is go to ESPN, create your account, stuff like that. They come on SEC Network Plus. Watch those guys, put in your cable account. You know, you don't have to pay anything. And then you keep on going from there, man. But they are extremely good. Love how the way they play. Just telling you guys that right now. Okay? All right. So, back to the Aggie men's basketball team. And as of right now, A&M is ranked number 12. I'm going to tell you this. A&M will be ranked probably number 15 or 16 when these rankings come out. Okay? The beatdown that they took on last night, in which I did not watch because I was at the rodeo cook-off. That makes no sense. And they're on a 4-game losing streak as well. I think, yeah, they're on a 4-game losing streak. Probably 5. But if I'm correct, it's 4. 4 straight games lost. I don't know what's going on inside these guys' head. I don't know if they're getting comfortable because they know that they'll make it to the tournament, the March Madness. But I'm telling you guys this right now, man. The things that they're doing, excuse my language, that shit ain't gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it. I don't understand why. So this is my thing about Buzz. Love Coach Buzz, man. Love how the way he gets down. And when they're up, they're up. When they're down, they're down. But love how the way he coaches. This is my thing with Buzz, and it's starting to be a frustration with me. I don't know why he substitutes the way he does when guys are in a rhythm. Don't take the guy out when he's in a shooting rhythm. I would never understand that. You know, you put the guy in that make the 3-pointers, but you take him out. You take him right back out. You do a quick substitution, in which is the quickest damn substitution I think I've ever seen in my life. That's something that really, really, really needs to stop. Like I say, I'm not sure why he does that. I'm not even much sure why Manny Basket is sitting on the bench. You know, but that's another one that needs to get fixed. Wade Taylor goes into these shooting slumps and he stays there. Zarek Phelps, damn good, but he's not consistent. He is not consistent at all. That game against Oklahoma that he had, I don't think we'll ever. I don't right now, from what I'm thinking and what I've seen, I don't think we'll see that game anymore. I don't think we'll see that type of game anymore. Zarek Phelps absolutely went off. And you just haven't seen him and Wade put it together and come out like what I call a Splash Brothers type of play. They need to do that. They need to have that rhythm. They really do. And the next opponent you got, which is on Tuesday, no, I think either Tuesday or Wednesday, is number 1 Auburn. You know, and Auburn has already won a regular SEC title. You know, it's theirs for the keep. And you know, it is what it is, man. But until Zarek Phelps and Wade get their stuff together, it's just like, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? But they play Auburn at home. That game needs to be sold out. Regardless if they're on a 4-game losing streak or not, that game needs to be sold out. I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. Auburn ain't worried about losing this game. I'm just keeping it real with you. So if they lose, I wouldn't say, you know, they lost because they wanted to lose, but they lost because A&M was just in a rhythm. Does it affect them? No, not at all. They've already won the SEC. They're going to be the number 1 seed in SEC tournament play, and you know it is what it is. They're going to be the number 1 seed when it comes to March Madness tournament, and with them losing to A&M, I mean, it's not. I mean, we're not in the running for anything. The only thing that we're in the running in is to not to be placed at the 6th seed again. That's it. At one point, we were projected as the 2nd seed. Now we're all the way down to the 5th, maybe 6th seed. That's mind-boggling to me, and that's why I say I think these guys have started to reach comfort in which you can't do that, man. Why? Because you're not a good offensive team. You're a good defensive team, but at times, I don't understand why you guys give up 3-pointers all the damn time. You know, you give up 3-pointers, and I guess you have it into your mind, you're going to go hit a 3-pointer of your own. We're not good at shooting 3-pointers. We're not good at shooting free throws, which kills me. I don't understand why we're not good at shooting free throws. That absolutely blows my mind. But here we are. Here we are. We have a 20-9 record. If they go on a 5-game losing streak, then, man, I really don't know what to say about that. That's totally effed up, in my opinion, if we do go to a 5-game losing streak. But at some point, you have to start figuring this out. Like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all, man. And if you don't figure this stuff out, then you're going to get left behind. Like, I'm not understanding what's I'm not understanding what's actually going on with how the way we're playing basketball right now, man. That's the God honest truth. You know, so like I say, man, the next game is Auburn. Then after that, I don't have my other phone with me for me to look at the schedule because I do not know it by heart at all. But after that, man, I think the last one is, I think, LSU. That's our last game. I know that part. That's our last game. But as of right now, man, in conference play, you guys are 9-6. And if I'm not mistaken, the projections for your conference record was literally 9-7. And if we lose this next game, in which we're already 9-6 right now. If we lose this next game, then we absolutely were what the critics said we were. And man, at some point, man, y'all, you guys have to stop being what the critics are making you guys out to be, because they're making you out to be a good team, right? But at best, you're a very average team. You're not all that good in the end, okay? And that's just mind-boggling to me. I'm also starting to think, man, and I don't want to think this. I'm not sure if we're getting comfortable. I'm not sure if the coaches are getting comfortable in the salaries that they're getting. I know A&M shells out a bunch of money when it comes to paying for coaching. I don't pocket watch. I have no clue of how much Buzz is getting paid. I'm pretty sure he's somewhere in the 6 or 7 million range, of 5 million at least, or something like that per year. But I'm starting to think these guys are getting comfortable with the dollar amounts that they make coaching wise, and I hope I'm wrong about that. I don't want that to plague these guys, man. Like, you guys are absolutely getting comfortable in the pay that you're getting, and it's getting to the point of where you guys aren't working for it anymore. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, I do think we'll be in a tournament, but do we have to continuously keep going at the 6 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed, maybe? Like, when are we going to get up to like a 2 or 3 seed? You know, like, we have expectations, man. I would expect Trev Alvarez to look at you guys and say, hey, man, you guys need to start honoring these expectations. Your expectations is to not only make the tournament, but be a higher seed than what the hell you've been going at. You know, so I don't know, man. That's me. I'd rather see you guys win than to lose. And like I said before, I think it's starting to set in these guys' mind to where they like, man, we good, you know, as long as we get into the tournament. And that ain't how the way you play ball. Hell, that ain't how the way you play football neither, man. I'm sorry, unless you professional, you know, unless you're in a professional league. But other than that, I mean, you guys can't let your foot off the gas, man. You have no room for error. You have no margin for it at all, okay? In which leads me into this one here, in which is the last one. Aggie baseball. You know, this is me, right? And I knew when we started into the season, the #1 ranking was going to come back to bite us in the ass. And as of right now, the Aggie baseball team is on a 4-game losing streak. And that's the #1 ranking coming to bite you in the ass. It's coming back to bite you in the ass. And the problem that they're having to deal with right now is getting the best of every team. And it doesn't matter if it's Cal Poly. It doesn't matter if it's Texas State. It doesn't matter if it's Arizona or Oklahoma State, in which they lost to on yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch that one neither, right? Like I said, at the rodeo cook-off. But to lose 4-0 on yesterday, it's really appalling to me. At some point, Mike Early has to talk to his pitching coach, right? That game against Arizona, you should have never lost that game in the first place. That game against Cal Poly, you should have never lost that game in the first place, although you won the series. That game against Texas State, you had no business losing that damn game. You had no business losing that at all, right? Texas State, don't get me wrong, they're a good baseball program. They have nowhere near the talent that you have on your damn team. And what I don't want you guys to fall into the category of is the football team status. All that talent just to go 8-4. You start falling into that ballpark and you start seeing yourself kind of maneuver in certain ways where you're like, damn, man, how do I fix this? Because you're going to be mediocre. You're going to start being very mediocre. You're going to start being very average. You started out as the #1 team, man. People are going to talk. I don't really care about what people say. The only thing I care about is how Aggie baseball would get up off the floorboard and handle what they're handling. Okay? You guys have to get up. You guys got to go out there, man. Y'all have to handle business. Okay? Your business started the moment you lost that game to Cal Poly. And I believe that since you guys have lost that game, and don't get me wrong, it's a couple of guys that are injured, man. In which is one is Grahovic. When he went down, I feel like Grahovic took some of his team with him, right? And you guys have to find a way to get up off of that deck, man. You got to find a way to get up. The pitcher is not Shane Sadeo, if I'm not mistaken. Then again, it might be Shane Sadeo, but I don't want to name no names and be false with it. But our pitcher that got hurt, and that was within the first week, right? He went down. Another one that hasn't even been out there yet, Caden Sorrell, he's also hurt. I don't want to start seeing that plague this team because you guys have some very talented players. Some just haven't woken up yet, in which is Gavin Cash. I believe that's his name, Gavin Cash. But Cash from Texas Tech, young man, you're going to have to wake up already. You know, you're going to have to wake up already, man. And I understand it's a such thing as a hitting slump. But Cash, you're way better than that, man. You are way better than that. Okay? You transferred over here for a reason, man. It's time to start showing that already. Okay? What I'm confused about, right? And I'm not a baseball coach by any means. What I'm confused about is why do we keep on taking out the pitchers when they're absolutely about to close out this game for you? The thing that we're lacking right now is closing pitchers and a Tuesday pitcher. Closing pitchers and a Tuesday pitcher, right? That's two of the things. The most important thing, though, is our batting average. We have no good batters right now. None at all. It's nobody that can get out there and just sling it. I believe we're going to see that tonight against Rice. But I'm just like you guys, man. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how else you sum that up other than we'll see. I think this team is still very good. I don't believe this team will go on a 5-game losing streak. I keep on getting these alerts about LSU and Sam Houston State. I'm going to throw that in, by the way. But Sam Houston State is starting to come back on LSU, which is crazy because they're in the Frisco Classic, which is down the damn road. That's it. They're down the road, and they're playing over there with some other teams. But LSU is one of them, right? I'm going to tell you guys this, and you guys already know that I'm right about it. And, of course, a lot of you guys have already said it as well. Tennessee is the #1 team in the country. It's not Texas A&M. And I say that wholeheartedly. For all of my Aggies out there, I say that wholeheartedly. Texas A&M is not the #1 team. You guys know that. I know that. We're not going to act crazy to this shit. But Tennessee is the #1 team. What I see from Tennessee is what I seen last year. A lot of guys that can hit. They may not have all the pitchers, but their hitting makes up for it. And that's how those guys are going to win most of their games, man. They're going to win a lot of baseball games that way. That team looks damn good. I believe Vitello, the head coach over there, I believe he's figured it out. And as soon as he won a national championship on last year, I kind of knew it was going to be on in the SEC, man. And we're going to have to chase Tennessee. It's not chasing Texas A&M. We're going to have to chase Tennessee. We're going to have to chase them. LSU, I think the jury is still out on LSU right now. But LSU will be your #2 team. Okay? The #3 team, it will not be Texas A&M. Please, before anybody comes on here and say that, it will not be Texas A&M at all. The #3 team should be, and I have to go through my rankings here because I don't even know who's #4 team. But I have to go through these rankings, man. But just from what I seen, Florida. No, you know what? I can't say Florida because Florida just lost to Miami, in which Miami established that series. So Florida ended up winning the series, but Miami established it. I don't know, man. I don't know who's the number 3 team, man. You guys have to come on here and tell me because I have not looked at. I don't remember those rankings that I was looking at earlier, man. But like I say, man, Tennessee is number 1. LSU is number 2, and I don't think it's changing from that order. I don't think Texas A&M will go out of the top 10 just yet. They could if they lose this game, but I don't think they'll go out of the top 10 just yet. Where would they be at? I think they'll be placed at probably number 10. If they do go out the top 10, they'll probably be placed at number 15. And that's a hell of a fall when you started out being number 1 in the country. And I'm going to get to Mike early in a couple of seconds here, but that's a far fall, man. That's a far fall from grace. That's a lot of humbleness that will go into this team. Like I said, I believe they'll come out tonight. I believe the bats will be swinging. I think we got a little bit of it when we played Arizona, but these guys have to start not just focusing on home runs. They have to place their mind in just hitting the ball all around the field. We have made a lot of errors. We've made a lot of errors, but you can tell some of this team is young, man. The guy that's the outfielder that's filling in for Grahovic, and I believe he's filling in for Grahovic. No, because Grahovic is a third baseman. I can't remember who the guy in the outfield is filling in for. Nor can I remember the little freshman name. But he's damn good. He reminds me of that guy at LSU, right? Black guy I'm talking about, guys. He reminds me of the little guy from LSU with that different color hair. And the thing about this team, right? And the thing about the team on last year, that team is for all the old timers out there, right? For all the older ads, it's a such thing called swag. And Terrence Kill, thank you. But it's such thing called swag, right? And on last year, the reason why that team got all the way to the national title game is because that team had a mentality of, number one, having some swag, looking good, feeling good, and coming out there playing good. They were just that damn good. Brady Montgomery was a damn fool. Jace Lavalette was a damn fool. Gavin Grahovic in the lineup as well was a damn fool, right? And then you had Caden Kent. He came in there, and then you had my guy, my guy that's the old man, as we call him. But then you had him. He come into the lineup. He hit a couple of homers. That team was damn good last year. Will we repeat that? No. And I didn't have it in my mind that we'll repeat that team on last year. Last year's team was last year's team. I guarantee you, if Brady Montgomery would have been playing in a national title game, I'm going to go off on a limb and I'm going to say we win that game against Tennessee. And I'm going to say it would have been a series sweep. It would have been 2-0, and I believe we would have won that damn game and went on about our business. Would have been national champions. I think Slaw still would have left. I don't think he would have stuck around still. I'm just letting you guys know that. And, it is what it is. But anyways, man, but the point I'm making is that this team still has that swag identity. They just haven't found their hitting presence. And I think all of us is just sitting there shocked because with Mike Early, right? Mike Early is the head coach, and he was the hitting coach. Hell, he's been the hitting coach for I don't know how long. Ever since, he's been at A&M and then at other stops. So it's kind of like, man, something isn't adding up, right? Something isn't adding up. And yes, I did see the tweet by Shane Sadeo, but something isn't adding up into the way we're playing right now. And with Shane Sadeo, right? Let me speak on that. Shane Sadeo came out with the tweet, in my own words, called out the Aggie fan base to let everybody know, hey, man, we need you guys' support. Like, man, what y'all are doing right now, man, y'all just don't know. Like, we're also figuring things out still. And I believe because of the expectations that was placed on this team way early in the season, and on Mike Early specifically, it's starting to mount up. and they're finding themselves digging the hole, digging a way out, just digging. I believe they'll find that light, but the light is starting to get further and further because of how the way they're playing. I believe we'll be good, to say the least, but like I said before, that's me. But I believe they'll be good. It's just all about finding that rhythm, finding that right timing, and just coming out and being the guy. So, man, I think they'll beat Rice. I think they'll beat Rice pretty handily. I have a lot of faith in that. I have a ton of faith in that. I believe Cash is the guy I'm beaming on so hard because he was so goddamn good at Texas Tech. He was in the Big 12, though. He wasn't in the SEC. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't in the SEC. But I believe he's good, man. I believe he's really good. I believe he's really, really good. And I believe they will come away, and I think once they get on the right path, in which is winning, having some winning baseball, it's going to look a lot more easier. Like, okay, all right, come on, man. Let's roll. I don't doubt in my mind that this team will win tonight and then go on and win Tuesday, and then go on and win a series, in which is their last series before they get to SEC play series, before they get to the Alabama series, which is the week after next. But I believe they'll win tonight. They'll win on Tuesday. I think they'll sweep New Mexico State. I'm being totally honest. And right there, that'll project them into a 5-game winning streak. You need that. You need that confidence to just keep it moving. I don't believe they'll sweep Alabama. I'm here to tell you that. But we do play at Kyle Field. I just don't believe they'll sweep Alabama. I believe they'll win the series, but I don't believe they'll sweep them. Alabama is a good freaking team right now, man. And Alabama is on the road, and they're probably, I think they're either 10-0 or 11-0 right now. But Alabama is damn good. Have they played anybody? No, not like that. But Alabama is pretty good, man. They are sneakily good. Okay? So, like I say, man, I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys. I know it's been a long time. If you guys can, man, bring a friend. Tell them to bring a friend as well. And subscribe to this show. Okay? I'll be back. I will probably most likely be back on Sunday, after the series is done with New Mexico State. So you guys, you guys just stick around, man. Just tune in, okay? I love all of you. And once again, #GigaMan.